for?
We are Movie Menu Reviews, and I think it's gonna be a fun time podcasting movie reviews for you. I am the man that they say I am. Online. I'm the podcast Dan, doing all the work all alone, just me. On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Rocketman and Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Just cringed. All of us just went like, "Ooh." That was great, Dan.
That was amazing, and you know it.
We love you, Dan.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
But that was really
Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Man Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast, live on Facebook. Or if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, which won't be there for long, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts, thank you so much for listening to us.
Indeed.
We appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying the audio version, because Mike will do something fun with that singing that I just did.
Yes.
Or somewhat singing, or whatever you can call it. But on that note, we have several movie news stories to get over with before we get to our movie reviews. And the first up is a couple of trailers were released. Actually, 4 trailers were released this past week. So we're going to do some trailer reviews. Spoiler alert, thanks Z.
You're welcome.
The first one we're going to do is Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark. That opens in August, based on a very popular children's series.
Mm-hmm.
But they are bringing in the darkness in this film. What did you guys think about the Guillermo del Toro produced film?
Well, first of all, I hate that. I get it. They tag their names on there just to represent that, like, this is a big person who is. But you know that Del Toro probably came in like much later. But
no, he wrote the screenplay.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I don't see his name on the screenplay, but I will take your word for it.
It says it in the trailer.
But it is directed by Andre Overdahl, and Andre he actually directed a really great sleeper hit, The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
It's the same guy.
It's the same director. So just seeing that alone, they should really be blasting his name, because just seeing his name on there. No, but really though, like instead of like blasting Guillermo del Toro's name, you should focus on this guy. This guy knows how to direct horror.
By the way, we should recommend that, or not recommend, but we should say this is the full trailer that came out, not the teaser trailer. We're talking about the full trailer. Continue. Yeah,
no, I'm just saying, like, he is a genuinely good director, and I think it's being overshadowed by Guillermo del Toro. Does the movie look appealing and actually scary? A little bit. What do you think, Rigo?
I think it does, and I'm kind of surprised since it's like a children's book, right?
Yeah, but even the stories were kind of...
Yeah, it looks like kind of like super hardcore, which kind of surprised me.
We don't see ratings on the IMDb page, but I'm assuming it might actually get a rated R rating.
You think so?
I hope so. That would make for a much better movie if released. I mean, it's in August, so sadly it's not released for the October crowd, but I think that it would still be a fantastic movie to
I don't
watch.
think it's rated yet.
It's not rated. Yeah,
I don't think it's going to get an R, though.
You don't think so?
No, because children are going to go watch it.
Do you feel like because of that reason this movie's going to get neutered?
Maybe yes.
Yeah, because Autopsy of Jane Doe was definitely rated R, I believe, and it was a really great romp.
To be fair, it wasn't based on a children's scary book.
That's also true. Yeah, and we all know, because I mean, if you grew up reading these books, which I did, these are some really scary books. Like they didn't hold back. There was one where a woman's like head was attached by like a cord,
a cloth.
Cloth, and it's like it was a really morbid.
That story stuck with me for years.
Because it was genuinely like, oh, okay, that's not what I expected.
And the artwork then that was in those books were amazing.
Yeah, I think the movie really, really relies heavily on the actors in this, and I hate to say that, because clearly these are all teenagers and they're all new up and coming actors, but I'm hoping they got some great talent, because you really need to sell these stories. It looks like it's based in the 1950s, so that should be a very interesting telling. What's going on, Dan?
One of the actors. One of the actors is named Michael Garza.
That is correct.
Oh, it is correct.
Yeah.
Mike's over there. I think they'll do great.
I meant it. I'm sorry. I wanted it to be a surprise.
Mike should get like exclusive rights.
He is not going to be allowed to review the movie.
No, I'm not really starring in it. It would be great if I was, though.
Yeah.
It would be. It means you get.
It's automatic dine-in.
It's an automatic fail.
Aw.
Okay, moving on. Or Mike, did you have anything to talk about the movie?
Mike has nothing to say because he doesn't. Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. He's produced other horror films in the past, and I'm always looking forward to what he brings out. And I don't know if you guys had seen that other film that he produced. It was with these little creatures in the basement. It was with
it's Afraid of the Dark, or
yeah. Afraid of the Dark. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and I think this is going to be no different. I think it's going to be entertaining.
You think he puts his name on things that he actually believes in?
Yes,
All
with the exception of Hellboy, the most recent one.
Well, he didn't put his name on it.
Oh, his name was not on it.
He's
Okay.
not attached to that.
Then never mind.
Yeah.
Remember, Mike, you signed an NDA, so don't say anything about the movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't say anymore.
Yeah.
moving along, so our next trailer that we're going to discuss is The Kitchen, starring Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, and Elizabeth Moss. What did you guys think about The Kitchen?
I think it looks pretty interesting. I can't remember the last time we had a really good mobster-style movie. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been a while.
We, in fact, just got through a mobster movie with I forget what the movie was called, but it was the one where the women's husbands are killed, and then they go on and do the last heist.
Oh, Widows.
Widows,
But
which
I don't
was a brilliant movie. So this movie already reminds me too much of that.
But I don't think it's the same like genre.
Oh, it's different. Yeah, I agree with you, but it's definitely very similar. That's where I was watching this trailer going like, I could have sworn I already saw a better movie of this.
So this is based on a novel.
Yeah.
So,
and tell you the truth, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was a TV show.
It almost feels like it's like in the wrong scope of things, right?
It seems like something. The story feels like it's going to unfold over time, the way a television show would.
Yeah. And it's being in a trailer. It says that it's directed by somebody who wrote the screenplay for Straight Outta Compton, but she hasn't really had any directing previous to this. So I'm willing to watch it. I think that it looks interesting, but whether or not it will be better than Widows, because Widows was brilliant. It was fun.
I will say though, I am really excited to see Tiffany Haddish take on a serious role.
It's a good cast. It's a good cast.
It's a really
Tiffany
good cast.
Haddish, Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, and we all know that Melissa McCarthy, when she does serious acting, she can knock it out of the park.
Yeah. She can. So I think it looks good, and it feels like a David Russell film.
An O. Russell film.
Yeah, minus the misogyny.
I was gonna say that's not a great thing. Since
but the style, like the look, which is interesting.
I didn't see a lot of weird shots of Jennifer Lawrence's boobs in this one, but okay, I believe you.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Look, moving on, is Rambo: Last Blood. What do you guys think about that trailer with Sylvester Stallone? He didn't make a comeback with
Expendables?
No, with Apollo Creed.
Oh, Creed 2?
Yeah, Creed and Creed 2. But so what do you guys think about this film?
So it's interesting because this movie, it looks by appearances to be directed in the style of Logan. And
it's directed by James Mangold.
It is not.
Oh no,
directed. You got the wrong movie. You got the wrong movie. But no, you're absolutely right. We're going to be talking about that right now. But yeah, this movie looks like it's directed as if it's sharing you the story of Logan. And I think that because of that, one, you're already kind of like crossing into territory that's already been done. Secondly, are we not tired of white guy goes up against Latinos? Is that not something that we're already kind of exhausted with? And this trailer just looks like that. And I don't remember ever watching another Rambo movie. So for me, watching this trailer is kind of like, why are we retreading? Like, I get it. Sylvester, you want to like retire your characters, but nobody cares anymore about Rambo.
Well, no, I do know quite a few people that are huge Rambo fans who are female.
Oh, okay.
So,
Is it? I can't even tell you why. But the director of this movie is not even like experienced. It's Adrian Grunberg, and he's kind of done basically secondary unit work. The story looks bland. I don't know. Are you guys at all like enthusiastic about this?
I'm just kind of confused about it because mostly Rambo movies take place in the desert or in the jungle.
Yeah.
This is more like in a ranch. So
Yeah.
it feels like kind of like Home Alone on steroids
Okay.
just by looking at the trailer.
But see, that I would watch. That would be fun. I don't know. I just kind of don't dig it, Mike.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll check it out.
Well, of course will check it out.
well,
but
the thing is about Rambo is that he has beat up every other ethnicity. He might as well be a Mexican. No, I'm kidding.
But are we sure it's
I'm
Mexicans,
kidding.
even though
Yeah, it is.
we
It's
know
a-
what?
It's
Yeah.
a Mexican cartel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
never mind.
there you go.
I
Yeah.
mean,
okay.
Rambo is. I mean, Rambo is its own recurring.
Racism? Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
It is. It's
You know,
incredibly
it is.
xenophobic. That's kind of been the drive for that. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What
like,
better
from
way
the
to
beginning.
capitalize that?
All right. Do you remember the last
capitalize that in today's
movie?
age.
The last movie was Rambo in the jungle protecting the white people from the other. That
I
was
didn't
what the
see
movie.
it, really?
Yes, that's exactly what it was, and quite clearly they got the whitest person to play the lead female character, and it's like, okay, we've done this already. Can we stop this?
I guess that is. I mean, you do get that vibe with like the country music in the background going on as well.
Well, but that's because they ripped it
So,
off
like,
of Logan.
you know.
But yes,
I don't know. I don't see the connection with Logan.
you.
here. I don't.
We'll put the trailer side by side, and you'll see.
He's Sylvester Stallone's like a cowboy in this. He's very clearly a cowboy. Like
Well,
I
the
don't
thing is-
think
So is Logan.
Not really. Not in the same way. Like
The metaphor was in the Logan the movie
Yeah,
where he talks
people
about
talk
that.
about Logan being like a neo-Western type
Yeah.
of film.
I mean, that's true, but I think in Rambo it's more
blatant.
blatant. Yeah. Thank you.
Because it's a clear white.
He's like
he's a clear white guy and not
he's
an
like-
Australian.
He's like riding a horse in a circle and
Australians are
doing the
still-
whole thing.
Never mind.
He's riding a horse in a circle, and
He
that makes him a
is.
cowboy.
That makes him a cowboy. It does. He has the hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike.
He's like, and there's like country
surprisingly,
music.
we don't have any comments so far.
Well, it's
Wow.
because everybody agrees that these trailers are a little bust.
They're busy watching the Rambo trailer.
That's true.
Like,
Okay.
That final trailer that we're going to talk about is Ford versus Ferrari. All right, guys, what did you guys think about that trailer with a pretty good cast of Christian Bale, Matt Damon, and John Berthal, and so much more? What do you guys think about that trailer?
It's a great cast. I don't know. I actually don't know the history to this, so it'll be interesting to
Based
watch
on
what
actual
happened.
events.
So and
And this is directed by James Mangold, the director
Yeah, this
of
is-
Logan. Yeah,
This is James Mangold's film.
it definitely is. It looks fun. Like this, I have no interest in racing, but good movies sometimes like can do that for you. Well, they'll like change the genre for you. You can actually understand why people are interested in it. So it looks really good. I don't know. I'm kind of like willing to see Matt Damon and Christian Bale kind of like just ham up the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good, great cast. It's great to see them square off against each other.
At first, I thought it was gonna be like them two going up against.
I
each
thought so
other.
too. Right, which is
So-
reminiscent of another movie. I forget what it was called.
That one,
Yeah.
that Ron Howard movie.
Yeah,
What's it
with
called?
Thor.
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
That one. Yeah.
Which I heard that one's really good as well.
Yeah,
Oh, it's an
yeah.
excellent movie. But yeah, now it's like it got me more interested to see that they're both working together to try to beat a Ferrari. So
Yeah, I wonder
don't-
who they have on the opposite side though. That would be very interesting to find out. Like who's playing on the Ferrari side, because that would be an interesting way of like depicting both sides.
Mhm.
But even so, yeah, these two guys, like we get skinny Christian Bale back because we haven't seen that in a while, and he's taking the role serious when he gains or loses weight.
So, and this is just in time for Oscar potential. So,
Oh, totally.
it comes out on November 15th.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Several days after your wedding.
that is true. It is several days after my wedding. Thank you for reminding me.
So we're still podcasting that day, right?
We are.
Wow.
You are. I probably will
Wow.
not be. No.
We're doing a live podcast at your wedding.
Oh, at the wedding? Okay. Yeah, that should be fun.
I don't think the missus will
I
allow
don't
that.
I think
she
Ashley
would-
would be. I think Ashley would be okay with it.
No,
I think she would
dude.
say they can be outside
So
in
we're
the
still
rain.
podcasting that day, right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Anyways, so yes, this movie looks fun.
Agreed.
Yes.
I think it would be a really good film, and hopefully it's enjoyable.
I hope so too.
So, all right, let's get into the movie reviews. As Rigo, myself, and Mike have seen this film, Z, you shall be the host.
I will be the host.
So, you are worthy.
Cue me up. All right, so the movie we're reviewing is Rocketman, directed by Dexter Fletcher, written by Lee Hall, starring Taron Egerton, Jamie Bell, and Richard Madden. Here's the plot. A musical fantasy about the fantastical story of Elton John's breakthrough years. So, guys, depending on your spoiler-free review, I will decide if this movie is worth a dine-in, watch it in theater, a takeout, watch it at home, or a leftovers. What do you guys think? Watch Bohemian Rhapsody instead.
No, that's not leftovers.
It is.
Overdose.
It is for me.
No. Overdose.
Why would you want to overdose? That sounds horrifying.
Because that's how bad the movie is. You'd rather overdose than watch this film.
Okay, well, I disagree, but okay.
Wow.
All right, so whoever wins, actually, there is no real winners except for Rigo here, but we all know he's a giant loser.
I am.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But you will, in fact, earn a point just by being here if I choose to give it to you.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this movie. Rate this film.
Okay, I'm going to go with 100% dine-in.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
100%.
Remember
Not
that.
soft or hard. He's just going straight.
That's just so weird to me, though. Like, soft or hard, that's like is your...
You know
Have
what?
you eaten
You know
a taco
what? You know
before?
what? You know what?
Have
We're not
you
gonna
eaten-
go
have
there.
You, have you
Rigo,
had tacos?
I'm
not
going to
gonna-
compliment you and say you and I agree on that, and that's the first time.
That
we
is the
agree on
first time.
anything.
Yeah, that's a
On
new one.
anything. So I agree with you.
It's either
I
a
hate when they
dine-in
do the
or
hard, and I hate when they
it's
soft.
either it either is or not. Not a soft, not a hard. It's yes or no.
I disagree. All
And-
right.
and I hope we're all talking about the same thing right now.
I was talking about tacos, but you guys are going on about something entirely different. What about you, Mike?
Dine-in as well.
Okay, so review over. Go watch this movie. All right, so this is a musical, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
is-
Screw you. I didn't get my
first-
rating. You, son
You
of a
did.
bitch.
You said you agreed with Rigo. That
No,
is you
I-
giving your rating.
No, I agree about the soft and hard. We both hate that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jackass.
Sorry, I thought so. You were not being very
Wow.
clear.
Which one
I
do you hate
was.
the most?
Dan, how would you rate this movie?
Doesn't matter anymore. I give it a dine-in. Also.
That's what I thought. Okay, so this movie's a musical. It is not, in fact, like Bohemian Rhapsody, where the movie takes place over
It
time,
does.
and
It does.
so
It's
it's a
both.
musical.
Yes.
I have to say
It's half musical, half performance.
Okay.
Concert.
All right.
But they turn some of the concerts into like a musical sequence as well.
yeah.
But they don't really show the concerts like I would say compared to Bohemian Rhapsody where
It's
Live Aid
literally was like a 15-minute.
no they don't
Yeah.
they don't have scenes like that in Rocketman.
Okay.
It's very, very. It kind of reminds me of like I don't know if you ever saw Across the Universe.
I did. It was actually a fantastic movie that was more Bollywood than it was a musical, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Rocketman's Bollywood,
Okay.
but I would say that they definitely did incorporate the
They
like.
did have a Bollywood scene in there though, but we'll go on.
Okay. All right.
But I think that I finally see musicals as a different medium compared to just regular film.
This is the movie that does it for you?
This is the movie that did it for me. I
Oh,
was
wow.
like something clicked. I was like, oh, I get it because I feel like Rocketman was the only way they could explain so much in such a small amount of time with how they set up the film compared if it was played out the same way they did with Bohemian Rhapsody, it wouldn't have been as successful as it did. It needed that that surrealism to explain so much in such a small amount of time.
Are you saying that Bohemian Rhapsody would have benefited had they done it like this?
Yes, I think it would have, and not only do I feel that it was more successful at it, but I really loved that they showed Elton John's journey, like as being a musician. You get to see him struggling. You get to see him like,
oh, cool.
You get to see it from
right, because in Bohemian Rhapsody you just see them all being fantastic already, and you're like, okay, well there was no struggle there, and that's for me one of my big criticisms. The movie it doesn't actually really explain the journey as well.
Yeah, so you get to see that, and you get to see his progression as a musician.
Awesome.
And I just love how they tied in the actual songs into the film.
All right,
and I was like, it was very well done.
Cool. Dan, so it's a musical, so inherently it's corny, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's Elton John, so it doesn't get any cornier than Elton John. Is it cringy as like the theme song
it's
earlier?
Elton John's music, but it's Taron. He's the one.
Yeah,
that's
he
singing.
does the singing. Yeah, it's great.
So he does a fantastic job in this film, actually.
Yeah.
And Mike's right. Like the surrealism of the musical. For me, I actually really enjoy musicals and I like it. And
I know you love them. Yeah.
The way that they approached it in this film was jarring for me, which is funny that
really?
You were like,
really?
Yeah. And
interesting.
I was like, because it was for me for like La La Land, where La La Land, it was a spectacle, but it didn't feel like an actual musical, but that's how they marketed it as a musical because
yeah.
It had like these showstoppers and whatnot. And this film is kind of like that. It starts off with like a big number, and then it's pretty much just Elton John for the most part singing, and then like here and there. But after a while, I got used to it. I'm like, okay, well, this is the mechanism they're using to tell a story, and I was on board.
Would you say
at
that
first it was very jarring for me?
This is not a musical for musical fans?
It's not the traditional like treatment for musicals.
Okay,
but I guess to tell an autobiography or a biography of a musician, it works in its benefit for that.
Okay.
It's just you need to, I guess, not think about structure so much and just go with the flow.
Yeah, because I heard that was I didn't actually like understand. People were criticizing Aladdin because this is actually like one of those weeks in which you have two musicals back to back, right? Like you have Aladdin,
which is why you hear me singing at the beginning of the show.
Yes, exactly.
So keep on bringing those musicals on.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Hey, Rigo, this movie's rated R.
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes, it does work, and I'll tell you that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed this a lot more than I did Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Because in Bohemian Rhapsody, I felt like everything was safe. I don't know if
I
that
agree.
describes
Yeah.
like they really didn't show any like all the craziness that happened behind the scenes or anything like that.
Well, the drug use to begin with, right? Like that was completely. It was obviously hinted at, yeah, but it wasn't like as actual. That's one of the big things people were talking about. Yeah.
And in this, it's like, here it is. Like, this is what happened. Like, he was a drunk. They didn't shy away from him. They actually showed him drinking. They actually showed him, he pretty much turned into
doing
like
drugs.
Doing drugs, like doing other things. He was like a super diva, and it's like they didn't hold back, which to me was like, all right, thank you. Like, you didn't go like super hard, but you went hard enough to make us understand.
He didn't go soft.
Yes, exactly. He didn't go soft.
It was very well written, and it was very well written. Like as the story had multiple dimensions in terms of how, it used a story device of where he's explaining his history, where Elton John is explaining his history to the audience. Mm-hmm. But the situation that he's in, it makes sense. And right off immediately you get his story, like when he first starts it off. I don't know if it would be spoiler to talk about that.
What I've heard of this movie is about the rehab scenes and how descriptive it is in its telling. And what I heard was that Lee Hall, I don't know if this is true or not, but that Lee Hall had gone to rehab, so there's more of a personal element there in its narrative because it's a guy who wrote it who actually knows what it's like to go through rehab. So did that part feel real?
To me it did, and I felt like it's one of the few movies that actually like gets to the core of it, where it's not like he's drinking because he's sad. It's like no, this is like like this is the specific thing that's hurting him.
Oh wow!
And it actually shows that you get to see, and I think anyone
you feel the pain.
Yeah, you do. You
Okay.
do. You feel the pain, and what I enjoy is not only do you go through his musical journey, but you go through like his emotional journey as well.
Yeah.
And like I feel like they tie up all those loose ends, and it's very very well done, very well written.
Okay.
Though, do you feel like by the end of the film that seems like it's a little rushed to end it?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Not necessarily, because they ended it exactly where they were supposed to. Because we really don't need to know the rest. Everybody knows the rest. This is, I guess it was him just.
You didn't want to see him fighting with Madonna?
No, I don't care about that.
I think it was almost like the ending. I know it sounds corny, but the ending was like the new beginning for Elton John.
Oh, okay.
So that and I feel like
this movie is corny, Mike. It's a musical.
Yeah, that's really corny.
It's the Elton John backstory to the Elton John universe.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the acting. So I've heard amazing things about.
So someone you didn't mention in the
tell me,
was Jamie Bell.
Yes,
and Jamie Bell is the heart of the film.
Oh, really? So who does he play?
He plays the songwriter to Elton John, his best friend.
Oh, okay.
That you followed both of their journey.
Yes.
The movie is Elton John's story, but
Yeah.
it's also his co-writer or his writer of his music.
Wow. Okay.
So Elton John, he was the singer and he played the music, but he had someone who wrote the lyrics on that journey together. And Jamie Bell's character, who was just like the guy you were rooting for because he was the only person who showed kindness to Elton John.
Oh, okay.
So
I also like the young child that played young Elton.
Both of the kids were really good.
Yeah, they were really good, and I felt the emotion from I guess the sorrow they were feeling at times.
Yeah.
So they did a good job.
Yeah. What about Gemma? Oh shoot, I forgot her name. So Bryce Dallas Howard's in it as well, and I forget who else is in it. But yeah, how was the supporting cast in this?
I think. I think Elton John's family are his parents are kind of caricatures.
Oh, okay.
Of I wonder how his parents felt, how they were portrayed in the movie.
I don't think they're alive anymore.
Oh, okay.
Or I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
They would have been insults, is what you're trying to say?
They were jerks. Both of them were jerks. And
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard does a good job playing a villain.
The one thing the thing I always hate about movies, and I guess it's just how the nature of the beast is, but with music or films about musicians, it's always the record label or the agent that always has to be like the villain or the bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You felt like that was a
No, but
trope that was already kind of like
Well, they do it in Bohemian Rhapsody as well. And
It's
they
like-
do it in other films too.
Yeah.
they do.
But the record label wasn't really bad in this movie though.
Well, it was the agent guy.
It was the agent guy, but the record label was.
But he took over.
Yeah.
But I guess that's hard to like. It's hard to comment if that was like real life, you know.
Yeah. I guess like one of my last questions is like, do you see growth in the character? Do you actually see a full arc, or is this just a glamorized? Like my problem with Bohemian Rhapsody was the fact that it was just a glamorization. It didn't really do a good job of telling a story. It literally just dropped seeds. It's like here's clips, here's clips.
I know there's a lot of Bohemian Rhapsody bashing on this.
No, but it's not. Yeah,
But I'm gonna say I loved Bohemian Rhapsody, and I thought it was. I actually enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody a little bit more than this film.
Okay, why?
Well, because I'm a bigger Queen fan than I am an Elton John fan. But the performance for Bohemian Rhapsody, I felt like was a bit stronger than this version.
You're talking about
For
like
me.
musical performances?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but take that away and just
That's all I'm gonna
the
say.
basis for the two
Yeah.
movies, the comparison, like without you being a fan.
No, I still enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
without being too familiar with Elton John's past or too familiar with his music, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed learning where the character came from. Yes, there is like a lot of glamorization of Elton John and how you still get that.
You see the rise and you see the fall.
Yeah, but
Okay.
And then you see the aftermath of all that.
Yeah, and you do get some of the like the typical like as you said, glamorization where like the character is treated like a superhero sometimes, and that's okay, whatever. But I think you do. I feel like you get more of the struggle than other. It's not Bohemian Rhapsody bashing Dan, but
it is, because Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't that good.
No,
it should not have won any awards.
Shut up. They're two different movies, so it's unfair to like compare the two. I think, but like Bohemian Rhapsody is more of like that one seems more like just a straight like auto.
Yeah, it was a straight up.
It's just a straight biopic where
Rocketman
is a musical.
Gotcha.
It's they're different genres.
All right. Final question: what next musician do you guys want to see a biopic of that we haven't seen yet? Because we haven't seen a lot. Any thoughts? I was just thinking about like I would love to see a biopic of like Metallica early days. That would be really cool.
Is there a Hendrix movie?
There is a Hendrix movie.
Did you ever see the like VH1 used to have these like straight to TV like biopics? I loved those. I loved all of those. They're great. They're all great. Okay. Where they like.
Were they though?
They were absolutely
they were
great.
like Lifetime movies, weren't they?
Jackson 5.
They were just like Bohemian Rhapsody. I agree.
They're like Lifetime movies for musicians. It's like super addicting. Like the plot lines are all similar. Like as Dan said, there's like an evil record executive somewhere.
Yep, there's always one of those.
Always evil record.
Yeah.
All right. We get it. The music industry is evil and bad.
Yeah. It is.
I'm a sucker for like all those kind of films. And just watching like the rise and sometimes fall.
We should definitely get a Michael Jackson one just so we can see
it's
the
never
fall.
Gonna happen.
The fall happen.
It
will never happen.
He's too protected.
He's too protected. You're completely right about that. Okay. Any last thoughts?
I actually the one I would love to see a Bowie film.
That would be
great. Yeah. And he just passed away, so I'm assuming that like. Whether it's like the protection or whatever, like that would be a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah.
He was also a great actor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Now, also, there's Yesterday that's coming out.
Yes.
Which is not really a Beatles biopic, but it's a Beatles film.
It is.
Without the Beatles,
to it as well.
Looks interesting.
It looks fun. All right. Any final thoughts? Before we move on to the next movie?
The film's a lot of fun. The costumes are incredible, and the music's great. I am an Elton John fan. I like his music, so I did enjoy this movie a lot as well.
Yeah.
But stop bashing Bohemian Rhapsody.
We're not bashing it. We're just using it for basis of comparison.
And we're reflecting on how terrible it was. Rigo, any final thoughts?
No, just go watch it. It's a fun movie.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, I agree. Go watch it, and yeah, this is just very great storytelling. So and good like a
acting.
I'm sorry, it's like a good rehab movie.
Oh, okay. Great.
And
awesome.
Apparently, it's a good introduction to musicals if you don't like musicals.
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently, according to Mike, it changed his life. He changed his perspective on musicals.
He would never be the same again.
Yeah, he's been touched in a new way. Okay, so with that being said, Rigo, you get the point because I was actually going to watch the movie. I stopped myself, and as soon as I saw a musical, and I was like, I don't know about that. But now I'm actually kind of I'm curious to watch this.
I understand your hesitancy.
Well, I've watched a lot of terrible musicals.
Well, you don't have to watch it necessarily in the theater. It's
true.
Good enough to watch at home. I know we're saying dine in, but if you still decide to watch it at home.
No, if you're going to listen to the music,
you watch it in a big theater. Yeah, that is true.
It is a performance. You want to see the performance big.
Yeah, the Dolby Cinemas. I would love to see it in that. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and Dan. Yes?
Rate it completely.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm officially rating this a dine-in. I will go watch it in theaters, and you should too, because apparently it's really good. And if you guys have any comments, please send them our way.
Perfect. So let's move on to the next review.
Movie menu.
All right, the final movie we're reviewing is Godzilla King of Monsters, directed by Michael Dougherty, written by Michael Dougherty and Zach Shields, starring Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla. No, that's not true. It's starring
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, there you go. King Ghidorah. There you go. Starring Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, and a bunch of CGI monsters.
Ken Watanabe is in it as well.
Yes.
And Sally Hawkins.
That's true. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in this movie, but they're barely in the movie, so they don't matter as much. All right, so here's the plot. I haven't seen this movie, by the way. The cryptozoology agency Monarch faces off against a battery of god-sized monsters. The Titans, I think they call them? No, what do they call them?
Yeah, Titans.
Titans, yeah. Including the almighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed King Ghidorah. All right, depending on your spoiler-free review, I would rate this movie a dine-in, watch it in theaters, a takeout, watch it at home or on Netflix, or a leftovers. Just not. Don't watch this movie.
Or get pummeled by a monster.
Pummeled or plummeled? Those two things mean different things.
Your head bitten off by a monster.
Get stepped on by Godzilla.
Get stepped on by Godzilla.
Okay. Not sodomized by Godzilla. Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay, that would be horrible. That's a hentai movie. All right, so whoever wins will earn a point. Rigo, obviously, since you're the guest, you will more than likely automatically earn the point unless I choose otherwise. So with that being said, let's talk about this movie. Rate this film, Mike. Go for it.
Leftovers.
You're saying get
leftovers.
sodomized by Godzilla.
No, get stepped on by Godzilla.
Okay.
It was the leftovers. For me.
Really?
Mike is a leftovers. This is already going awesome. Dan.
Well, this is my most anticipated film of the summer.
But why?
Because it's an action film of Godzilla. Because I love Kong Skull Island.
Okay, I know you're the only one.
I'm not the only one.
I actually like Kong Skull Island.
Really?
too.
What did you like about it? The acting? It was horrible.
Great. It was great.
Loved it.
Okay.
And this one is great too. Damn it! It was fun. It's a dine-in. Watch it in theaters.
Dine in for Dan. Oh boy. And
You're going
Rigo.
down, Mike.
Oh my God,
Rigo.
Jesus.
Where are you going with this?
Okay.
Remember, I agreed with you. You don't like this.
No. We're not petitioning.
No,
he needs to petition me.
No.
He needs to tell me whether or not I should give him the point or not.
Okay, this is I call this House of the Dead effect, where a long time ago I saw Kill Bill.
Okay.
And then right after Kill Bill, like 20 minutes later, I saw House of the Dead at the theater.
Sure.
It doesn't matter whether
No,
or
wait,
not
so
you-
Shut up. Mute Dan.
So
okay.
this is interesting. This is interesting.
So
Did you?
I saw Godzilla first.
Okay.
And then 20 minutes after Godzilla ended, I saw Rocketman.
Okay.
Yes.
And while I was watching Rocketman, in my head I was thinking, God, Godzilla was so terrible. So I'm going with leftovers.
That's interesting because
Brilliant.
I saw Rocketman first and I saw Godzilla second, and I had the exact same
I was
realization
like, Jesus.
as Rigo. Yeah.
I saw Godzilla twice.
Okay.
And I saw
So
it
that
the
just
first
proves
time-
how
I saw
much
it-
of a gullible dumbass you are. Okay.
I loved the
No,
film. I thought
and
it
to
was
Dan's defense, I
for
kind of
sure.
want to see it again because I
No,
don't know if that's
so
just me.
How
thinking
did
that.
you see it?
Yeah, I just felt it
On a
was-
screen with his eyes. What do you mean? Well, how did you see it?
In what format?
I saw it in a regular format, like in the
Okay,
Not
and
IMAX?
insert
No.
Dan now commenting on IMAX or 3D and
this
gloating
movie-
about
this
it. Go
movie-
for it, Dan.
Yeah, shut the hell up and let me speak. So this movie is. I saw it first in IMAX and then again in 3D, a regular screen.
Of course he did.
And the 3D screen, I could see why people are not liking it because
Okay.
this movie is grand. It's huge. It's bigger than the screen itself. It needs the biggest screen because when I saw it on opening day in the IMAX screen with my other friend who is a huge Godzilla fan, we both went apeshit for it because the screen itself was just so massive that the fights and the special effects and everything would look great. But when I saw it in the regular 3D small screen, it just seemed like there was so much going on. It was hard to follow.
Okay,
But I
okay.
didn't have that issue when I saw it in IMAX.
So this movie should not be watched in 3D.
And you know how much I love 3D.
I do know how much you absolutely
I
love
would
3D.
highly recommend to watch it in IMAX.
In IMAX
the
format.
way
Okay.
the largest screen and usually when the promos say watch in the biggest screen as possible, blah, blah, whatever it's all about.
Yeah, that's marketing.
No, but this one you
And
should
money.
really watch it in the big screen because the film itself is just so massive with the Titans and the monsters fighting. And yes, I will agree, the human story is dumb. But you know what? Every single human story, every single Godzilla film ever made is stupid. It's so dumb. You don't go for the humans. You
Okay,
go for
okay,
the
but
monsters
that's
fighting.
one of the complaints.
Well, except hold on. Do you guys know any? I mean, I don't know, Mike. Maybe you do because you do like cryptozoology stuff. Do you know the lore of Godzilla?
Well, I'm familiar with the earlier Godzilla films, and this is a different tone from the earlier.
That's what
Godzilla
I was going to
films.
ask. Okay,
no, but there's so much homages to this as well.
But homage is different than, say, for example.
Hey, did you watch this film?
No, of course not.
You hush while we talk about the film.
And I'm trying to get you to actually like understand that one. Okay, so
wait.
Okay,
so Z, you made this joke that the people don't matter because they don't get that much screen time in the film. You know what? In this one, they do, and it ruins the film that much more.
They get more screen time?
And the minute the human villain is revealed, like it just goes downhill from there. It's very bad, and yes, Godzilla looks amazing. All the Titans look awesome, but how can the writing for the fighting be bad and the writing for the it's like what?
It's like fighting, punch, dude.
It's like it doesn't take much to like write like a cool fighting scene.
Right, we've seen John Wick. We know that.
There's this weird scene like where the monster does like a surprise like stab, like it's supposed to be like a crazy like surprise. It's just very weird and very poorly done.
That was awesome.
How was that
horrible?
Weird? That was horrible. But
that was great, especially that character that always is infamous for being the weakest of them all. Actually kicking ass was awesome.
Okay. It was very okay. So I thought it was poorly done because it no longer felt like these monsters fighting. It was like you could have easily replaced the creatures with just people fighting. It seemed like a personification of the monsters, and not the monsters themselves. But the story itself is just very bad. Like it almost seemed like there was like. It seemed like the writer was saying, let's make some science-y stuff here. Okay. And it doesn't even matter what it is or what it means or what it does. It seems like it kind of reminds me of like I, Frankenstein. I don't know if you remember that.
No. That is a mark of death.
You are starting to fight here.
Why are you getting mad, Dad?
Okay,
it's true.
Hold on. But I want
it's not true.
Yeah,
Just imagine I, Frankenstein.
That was a really bad movie.
But the graphics are twice as good.
Okay.
And like the creatures look like twice as awesome, but it's still I, Frankenstein in terms of acting, in terms of like, and I can't blame the actors. I mean, I would say in terms
performances were really good.
Specifically in terms of like direction and writing, that's the weakest link, and that's like the most important part of this film.
Dan, did you like the spectacle less the story?
No, it was the story itself was interesting. The only thing that
was dumb.
Shut up.
Hey, wait, for me to say the plot of this story is dumb, it's a big thing because I enjoy everything.
You're talking about the human plot alone.
That's why it was so
dumb.
The
whole plot of the whole film with the monsters itself.
Let them fight.
Human plot is like 75% of the movie, which is awful.
Because you follow Godzilla through the humans are following Godzilla, and by them doing that, you see what Godzilla's doing.
But do you care about the humans?
That's part of the plot.
But I want to see just what Godzilla's doing. I don't care about the humans.
But that's with every Godzilla film.
That's true. That was the complaint in the last Godzilla movie.
So, like in the past, like Godzilla was almost like a comedy where it was always the comedy was like a satire on like how foolish politicians are, and so it was always like and you get like you get a taste of that in the trailer. And that's only like in the film for like 2 or 3 minutes. A typical Godzilla film, like half the movie is that because it's a combination of the satire and as well as Godzilla destroying.
And
that's what happened.
Half is also the military trying to beat Godzilla.
But I think this film it seems like it takes itself more seriously. I think. Things just fall apart.
Well, and just to add, like the whole Godzilla, the lore, and this is what I'm trying to hint at with Dan here, but you're not giving me what I want to hear. Which is the lore is that it is a commentary. Godzilla was always a commentary on the American nuclear struggle, right? Japan got bombed to hell. That's kind of what happened in World War II. Yeah. And so Godzilla movies were commentary against the military industrial complex. That's what Godzilla was all about. So seeing these giant monsters battle it out, that was a spectacle. the commentary in each of the Godzilla movies, as Mike is currently saying, was against the military-industrial complex. And this movie, does it do that?
Yes, because it's Monarch versus the military.
No.
It's Monarch versus the government. The government is trying to shut them down.
So you're saying
shut down
the government is not trying to... what movie were you watching, dude?
No.
Who's the one that got the monsters to come out?
The short answer to that, Z, is...
It was Monarch.
Is
No.
Wait,
Okay,
who's
that's...
and
who is Monarch?
So this is one of the issues with the film is that...
It is Monarch, you're right.
One of the issues with
That's the government.
It's not the government. The government's trying to get Monarch to be part of its jurisdiction. That's where they had the whole meeting with the judge saying we should control Monarch or we should destroy the monsters. And then they end up and they walk away. And she's like, hey, you're going to have consequences.
You better be careful, Dan. You're going into spoilers.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is the
Spoiler.
first 15 minutes of the film.
Gotcha. Okay.
The human villain, like it, that ruined like everything for me. And then just how they tried to intertwine, how they tried to intertwine like the personal story with like the combination of this personal story with something on such a grand scale as is basically the human villain like turns into Thanos. That's basically what happens, and so it's basically like just imagine like Thanos, but it doesn't make any sense. It just makes zero sense.
All right, so
like this character is not really a villain. It's just like the logic behind it doesn't make any sense, and I think that it's one of those movies where characters are making a lot of decisions that I just don't understand.
See, I feel like that plot, quote unquote, is really a device for the monsters to fight.
But
and there is an epic fight in this film.
Is it better or worse than Mortal Kombat cutscenes?
It's better.
I'm asking Mike, who would know more than you about this.
I would rather watch Mortal Kombat cutscenes. I think like you for the trade-off, you don't like. Just imagine if John Wick was like 75% story and 20% action. You'd be like,
that's the first film.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You have not watched it in years,
yes.
so you have no point of commentary on that. We already established this.
I'm playing to Mike's.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's kind
Remember
of
who's judging the movie. I'm over here.
I already know I lost, so why am I ever going to placate to you?
Also, another complaint about this, don't give me 2 hours of talking about a certain place and not show me that certain
Skull
person.
Island? Yeah.
Dude, they like mentioned it like a lot, and I'm like, all right, at least show me King Kong.
They mentioned Skull Island once?
No, they mentioned it like 4 times.
No, it's only once.
I actually heard it was multiple times.
They've already announced Godzilla versus King Kong. That's the next one.
Which, by the way, makes absolutely no sense because clearly King Kong is way smaller comparatively, unless they're supersizing him for whatever reason. Because in Skull Island,
it doesn't matter what
right,
it is because
we're not reviewing that. We're not reviewing that.
Let's wait till that movie comes out.
Okay, so I guess my final questions are: how's the acting?
O'Shea Jackson Jr. does a fantastic job.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Okay.
Godzilla was amazing.
So Monarch, the whole story with Monarch
Yes.
and them in the Argos. So this movie is global. It's global. It's not just in Japan.
Okay.
It's everywhere in the world.
Who
That's happening.
Who are the leading actors?
Why do they only show the United States military
exactly.
if it's the world? Like that.
It's not the United States military.
The U.S. is not the world.
That's all you see. All you see is the United States military.
When you're in the U.S.,
but they're all over the world.
No, that's Monarch. That's the Argos. That's not the military.
No.
So Monarch is all white dudes?
No.
They're anarchists that want they want to change the world
of course,
by doing stuff.
So you got the Monarch is basically the villain.
Yes,
of all this.
I'm aware.
And then you have the U.S. military chasing the Monarch, and the U.S. military, like, you don't see any other military. You don't see like, you see things happening around the world, and it's just like civilians, like
who
being
have no
attacked.
faces.
Exactly,
Yeah.
faceless civilians who. It really doesn't matter. Even the characters that you get introduced to, like the side characters, like they do get like. It doesn't matter. They get killed and you forget. That's it.
But I asked about the acting. So we have Kyle Chandler in there.
Everyone in the Argos, which is the Monarch airplane, they do a great job. Ken Watanabe is great.
The token Asian guy, yes, I would hope
he's not
so.
the token.
He's amazing in everything.
There's There's an Asian female.
Yeah, Ziyi Zhang.
Yeah, she's great as well.
Okay.
The military people are great in it.
Yeah, but here's the
Millie
thing.
Bobby Brown is great.
I was going to
Millie
ask.
Bobby Brown is great in this film.
The acting, like, yeah, it isn't the acting that's the issue. It's really the script.
Okay.
The script and the story, the plot and the direction. Like, so, like, they had a good cast, but, like, they were very limited with what they had to work with.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you know,
That sounds like this is a giant stinker. Okay.
it is a giant.
Just for the record, this is directed
If you
and
had
written
fun-
by the guy who wrote and directed.
I would have rather
Krampus.
I would have rather watched Krampus. I think
Okay.
that like.
All right. So
Yeah.
all right. Any final words? Because I've got my rating. Dan.
I like how
What's the point?
I like how disappointed Dan.
What's the fucking point?
I missed this part of movie menu.
I would
reviews.
rather watch House of the Dead than Godzilla again. That's
to be
Well,
fair,
yeah, but you have bad taste, Rigo. So
I do have bad taste, and that should tell you a
That
lot.
should tell you whether or not he would like this movie. All right. So any final words?
To be fair to Dan, like I just like Rigo, I did see Rocketman right before this. So compare the two, like it's
Right. It's like a student film versus a professionally done film.
exactly.
No, so I'll say Godzilla, King of the Monsters. The fighting of the monsters is incredible.
Thank you,
It is
yeah.
worth watching in that aspect.
And so
the
watching
biggest
a big screen. Okay.
Yes, I will agree with him on that. The fighting is amazing. It's awesome.
All
It's
right.
just,
The special effects are fun.
I don't know. I don't think there's ever going to be a good formula for a Godzilla movie. They're never
yeah.
going to get it right.
Okay, that's fair. Mike, final words?
I think
And there's so much little Easter eggs in this film that's a lot of fun.
Okay, Dan, you've already said your final words. Mike, any final words?
I would say shoot, I'm trying to think of like a good comparison to that. That's
Okay, so with that being said,
Heather says,
yes, do we have any comments?
Heather says, Dan likes it, so it's a dine-in for me.
Well,
Thank
that's
you, Heather.
because you
Oh,
are.
Heather, you like the Latin.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, I like the Latin.
Yeah, Latin was
Oh,
good.
you're now pushing my buttons, Rigo.
I'm
I am
not
now
pushing your buttons.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
is
All right, Mike, any final words?
yeah. See, Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter is a good movie.
Actually, watch Troll Hunter instead of Godzilla. I think you get what you wanted from Godzilla in Troll Hunter.
I think Troll Hunter is actually directed by the guy who's directing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Really?
Yeah. So they're good tie.
The same director. So he also directed the
Troll Hunter.
Jane Doe as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Okay.
I didn't know that.
All right, so here's my rating. I would say I rate this film a takeout, not a leftovers.
What?
Dan? No. Listen, you agree with Dan, and I agree that you know what? Visually, I would probably want to go watch the movie. Am I going to go to a pay $20 to go watch the movie? Probably not. But I would want to watch the movie at home in my own time so that I can skip over the crappy story that's in it. But I definitely want to watch.
Also, the movie's so blue.
Yeah, it
It
is
is
blue.
It's in the
It is
poster.
super blue.
Yeah, it's in the poster.
Heather
But
says,
yeah.
what? Aladdin was fun.
Yeah, it was. But I would say that this is probably a takeout for me. I don't want to rush to go watch it. I would wait to go watch it. And even at that,
Take that, Mike.
yeah. So
Doesn't matter to
So
me.
here we go. None of you guys get the point. You all suck. And I give my hosting duties back to Dan.
All right, thank you so much, Z, for hosting
Yeah.
both movies.
That was fun.
No, thank you to these two guys here. I'm not even going to say their names. They don't want to talk to them anymore ever again.
They might want to promote something.
Um,
I would like to promote how much Godzilla sucks.
So go watch
thank you
it.
to our special correspondent, Rigo Espinoza. You know, I don't even think
Rigo.
did I even introduce you guys at the beginning of the show?
I
Right?
don't
You
think
guys-
you
Yeah,
did.
you did.
You did?
So I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
sure. Thank you so much, Rigo, for being on the show.
Yes, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure to be on.
Is there anything you want to promote?
No, you guys know I don't do anything.
Yeah, I know. we know
We
that.
know. It's always fun for us to hear you say that.
Oh, thanks. One day I'm gonna do something just for you, Dan.
Something.
That would be fun.
Something.
Thank you so much, Mike, for being here as always.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Z, again.
Yes, that was fun.
So I'm Dan the Man Muñoz. Make sure to check us out at our website, moviemenupodcast.com. If you are watching us live on Facebook, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you're listening to us on our audio podcast on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, which will no longer be there, and Stitcher, thank you. We appreciate it.
Wait, why will iTunes no longer be there?
They're getting rid of it.
Why?
Go look it up. I don't know. We're closing the show out. Make sure to follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel, so check us out there. Until next time, guys, thank you and goodbye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, keep it.